right, and tonight we are talking more about security at the royal wedding. Could this be the biggest mobilization we have ever seen?
And what about all those celebrities and dignitaries? What will they have to go through before they even step foot inside Westminster Abbey? Joining us tonight is royal watcher Eloise Parker from OK Magazine and security expert Tom Ruskin from CMP Group. Tom is a former police detective responsible for New York City crisis management. Thank you both for being here.
Nice to have you with us, and let's talk about this. Eloise, let's start with you. We've just heard about all of the background work that's being done. What have you heard about security plans that are being put into place right now for this huge wedding?
Well, of course, we're 10 days out and police are already combing the streets for any signs of anything suspicious, and that will be going on until the morning of the wedding when all the roads will be closed. We're expecting 5,000 officers on the street. Now, looking back and comparing this to Diana and Charles's wedding in 1981, even the members of the orchestra had their musical instruments thoroughly searched, and guests back then were told to arrive 2 to 3 hours before the ceremony. Again, that will all be happening.
Not taking any chances.
Absolutely not.
Okay, so Tom, you've done extensive work involving security for the NYPD. Could this royal wedding be the biggest mobilization of security that you've ever seen? And I mean, you know, that's huge considering the presidents and everybody else that we deal with in this country.
In the UK, definitely. In the United States, probably not. We have that same type of security for inaugurations and things of that nature. Not to mention, you know, the threats in the UK are vastly different than the United States. You look at Carmela and Charles going to the theater a couple months ago, were attacked by just anarchists. So they not only have to worry about the IRA, terrorism groups, Al-Qaeda, they have to worry about the anarchs and the anarchists in London.
Eloise, let's talk about this too. You've heard about Prince William's concerns right now about security, and there are stories behind the stories, as we say in our business. Share some of that with us. What are his worries and fears?
Well, of course, Prince William lost his mother so tragically back in 1997 in the Paris car crash, and since then we know that he's had nightmares about her death, and since he started dating Kate Middleton, he's had terrible nightmares that Kate Middleton could meet the same fate as his mother. Since he became engaged, she has been allowed to have police protection, but until they were engaged, she had no protection whatsoever. Of course, on the wedding day, his nerves are really going to be about security and keeping his loved ones, especially Kate, safe.
Right.
So, you know, Tom, if you think about what they've learned over there and also what we've learned over here, do you expect to see a lot of new implementation, considering all the threats that we've dealt with in recent years, and also this possible new threat from the quote-unquote real IRA?
Well, they'll be using the highest level of technology available to them from not only the ground but the sky. And as of today, they're talking about people, the crowds, going through 7 checkpoints just to get there. And as Eloise referred to before, very smartly, Secret Service, MI5, and the Metropolitan Police Department, Scotland Yard, will be going through everyone's things that are attending the ceremony, as well as any after event.
Eloise, back to your beat. Certainly heads of state are familiar with very tight security, but what about some of the big-name celebrities who have been invited now? They're going to have to confirm very strict security regulations. Do you think there'll be any, don't you know who I am moments there, or what?
Well, of course, we're talking about people like David and Victoria Beckham, Sir Elton John, film director Guy Ritchie. They're certainly used to being the most important people in the room, but they are going to have to check their egos at the door, and there'll be no time for lateness. As I mentioned earlier, 2 to 3 hours before the ceremony begins is their call time in order to go through all those rigorous security checks. They're going to be sitting for some time, so let's hope they can keep their egos and their need for the restroom in check.
That's true.
Absolutely. All right. Are we done?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Eloise Parker from OK Magazine and security expert Tom Ruskin.
Thank you both.
Okay, we are monitoring